Thanks, Michael. Quite interesting. I had a conversation with Alistair Hamilton of Invest NI quite recently over the very issue you talk about. And he did explain to me, which I do support, that he's planning to put some staff within various countries throughout the world to actually market Northern Ireland food products and other products, because most of his staff that are in other countries, particularly America, are only there to get investment into Northern Ireland, and they're not there to promote our product. So we want to change that. I think that is the one way that we can help the Northern Ireland food and drink people, Michael, and you know that simply because we rely so much on exports. So the only way to do it is to advertise and to sell our products for the export business. Now, obviously, I don't know how much discussion there has been with yourself and Invest NI on that proposal, but it's the one way that we can help, and it's the one way we can assist the companies that's involved in it. And obviously, when I talk to people from Fian Valley and other groups like that, they say to me that is the one thing that they could do with. They don't want the huge funding of grants now to help their business. It's always helpful, that, but the one thing that they really want is to help to market their products and get those exported to a much more lucrative market. So I think that's the key to it, and that's where we would focus on, actually. We believe it's a simpler strategy than some of the other issues that we need to resolve, and that's where it needs to be defined too.
Okay, any further questions?
I wouldn't mind asking one about the security situation. Do you think, do you think we have it under control? Is it going to be under control? Is it going to get worse? It's one of the biggest issues in, affecting international confidence in us.
Yeah. I would be wrong if I told you I felt it was under control. I would be lying if I told you that I thought there would be no more incidents. I think there will, and I think over the next number of years there will always be groupings who will attempt to put Northern Ireland back. I think the best we can do is try and get as many of the public behind peace in Northern Ireland, behind stability, behind promoting Northern Ireland, and to say enough is enough. Now, I think we have done that to a large degree, but it's not going to stop these people. And the security services, I do believe, I am confident that they have a reasonable handle on them. But as everyone here knows, once people are determined to put not only a suicide bomb, but any type of bomb under a person's car or try and shoot them, it's very, very difficult to stop them without the proper intelligence. I do think the security forces, to be fair, have been very successful over the last 3 years in stopping a number of incidents, more than any of us recognise or realise. But there will always be those difficult situations. I just hope that they do not get a grip like they did in 1969 and 1970, and that we don't go back to that wide-scale operations, because they don't have the ability at the moment to carry out the attacks at the level they did through the 70s and 80s. But they do have enough resources to actually carry out occasional attacks and keep this place going backwards, or attempt to keep this place going backwards. So that's as much as I can say on it. It is a difficult one at the moment. It is. I think the only difference is we would have slightly different views on how to deal with it.
Can I ask any more questions?
Tom, David Annett, can I ask you one question? You have aligned yourself to some extent with the Conservative Party, and obviously when you're talking about corporation tax and changes to the economic strategy that Northern Ireland will have to adopt, does your alignment or otherwise with the Unionist Party or with the Conservative Party help that? Or can you see that being a bit of a conflict for you in time to come?
Well, I think, David, our relationship, what we did have with the Conservatives was an electoral relationship for the Westminster elections. It ended at that stage. What we are now is Ulster Unionist is standing on its own policies, its own branding, and its own manifesto. However, we still have obviously a loose relationship with the Conservatives. I'll put it no stronger than that. We don't follow through any of their policies unless we think it right for Northern Ireland, because we do think Northern Ireland is different to the rest of the UK, and we need to recognise that. But our relationship is strong enough that it actually helps us to bring forward some of those economic ideas. And I have to be honest, I don't believe we would have got to the stage we are at with the corporation tax issue if it wasn't for our relationship with the Conservative Party. That is absolutely clear. We hounded them, we promoted that, and we pushed them to give us commitments. And to be fair to them, they have followed through so far on it. I know we're only at consultation stage, but we do feel confident that that will be followed through.
There's a gentleman down the back.
Tom, Stephen Morris. We clearly know we need more new jobs coming out of the private sector, but how can we encourage people to actually take risks to open businesses when there's a lack of funding from the banks? And then also, if they can get the funding from the banks, what can we do to reduce that risk when we know that 7 out of 10 new businesses will fail in the first year?
That's a very difficult one, Stephen. I can tell you, particularly with the situation the banks are in. I believe the UK government missed a huge opportunity when they were financing the banks, that they didn't have safeguards written in about how they would deal with their customers. That has been a huge downfall. It has been a huge difficulty. Every committee, I think, at Stormont has met the local banks. Our senior politicians from the executive have been over and met the Treasury. And there is a complete lack of responsibility from the banks to the customer and to the people. And it is a huge, huge problem at the moment. I still feel that government have a role to play in this. They have opportunities to put pressure on the banks. And unless we get some sort of movement from them in the very near future, you're right, it's going to make it much more difficult. What there can be actually, though, are some helpful bonds from government to individual customers to actually give the banks some security. Now, I'm not saying that would be 100% bonds, but there are opportunities to offer bonds to secure some of those people who have good ideas and want to take them forward. I believe that the UK Treasury have already talked to people in UK government on this, that there are opportunities for them to actually look at that through the Treasury, and it's something that could actually assist and cooperate with our executive on. It's one of the only ways that I see at the moment, or that we see in the Ulster Unionist Party, as possibly being able to develop those new ideas and opportunities. I did outline earlier, Stephen, my idea around rewarding success. I think there are opportunities for rewarding success, and you know, success breeds success. And I think there are huge opportunities for growing industry here, for growing current businesses, if you reward them.
Thank you. Any other questions? Time for one or two more? Okay. That's us. Well, thank you, Tom.
Very welcome.